Chapter 11 The Weapons Arsenal of the Kingdom of Kronos. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Arms flow to the underground world and inevitably fall into the hands of pirates, especially the Rocks pirates. You can tell whether a gun is good or not after using it, therefore, Vulcan Company's arms are also very popular among pirates. The increasing strength of pirates and illegal forces has greatly threatened the rule of the world government. Even if the world government wants to block it, it will be difficult to do so. Because Vulcan Company's arms dumping is mainly aimed at countries that have trade relations with the Kingdom of Kronos, just because the world government prohibits interfering in the domestic affairs of the franchises, they can only watch helplessly. Moreover, in the laws and regulations established by the world government, arms, like slaves, have never been considered prohibited items. In this case, we can only take action against the Vulcan Company, the source of the arms sales, but the headquarters of the Vulcan Company is in the Kingdom of Kronos, and the Kingdom of Kronos is standing behind it, and all this is back, the Navy is not included, and other forces that want to purchase it can only purchase it through channels in the underground world. In this way, the Navy will inevitably be at a disadvantage when it comes to weapons and equipment, especially in addition to the arms circulating on the sea. The new weapons invented by the Vulcan Company have also been widely sought after, such as landmines and flintlock guns that have appeared on the sea. However, the craftsmanship of flintlock guns is more difficult, and they are often specially made and exclusive to nobles. Nowadays, Vulcan Company is able to produce in large quantities. The latest revolver pistol called Revolver has undoubtedly become the new favorite of many nobles. Compared with the flintlock gun, it has higher stability and has advantages in all aspects. In order to reflect the preciousness of the revolver, Vulcan Company sells it in limited quantities and accepts customized services to make it as gorgeous as possible, with gold and silver rims indispensable. Nowadays, in the black market, an ordinary revolver can be sold for a high price of 100,000 belly. If it is customized by a noble, then the price can be increased 10 or 20 times without any problem. Today's Bailey's purchasing power is still very strong, for nobles, compared to those famous swords that can only be used for viewing. New pistols like revolvers are undoubtedly more popular among them. As for counterfeiting, the world government has naturally thought about it, but the cost is too high, and the output is not as good as that of the Kingdom of Kronos. The gain outweighs the loss, so it is better to buy from the Vulcan Company. Once this statement is made, it is equivalent to a compromise with the Kingdom of Kronos. The world government's investment in the Kingdom of Kronos must be given up. It is difficult for them to make this statement. They can only be purchased at a higher price through the underground world, or borrowed from other forces or in the name of a franchised country. The world government has also considered that if the entire Navy's weapons and equipment are updated, this is definitely not a good thing and will cost a lot of money. The investment by world governments over the years has been considerable. For the orderly development of Vulcan Company, Hades also made a special weapon update plan so that Vulcan Company's arms and weapons can be optimized at the right time and their performance gradually improved, and the Function Company was established to compete with the Vulcan Company, launching different styles of similar weapons and equipment, and making changes in image and other aspects. The same weapon needs to be produced in dozens or hundreds of styles. Only in this way can the benefits be maximized. The development of the Kingdom of Kronos also requires huge profits from the arms trade, the internal construction of the kingdom, the research funds of the Royal Academy of Sciences, and the investment in the army and the underworld require absolutely huge amounts of funds. Hades doesn't like one company to dominate, even though it is controlled by itself. People are complex, and only with competitiveness can they develop better. Even for truly high-end weapons such as submarines, missiles, and electromagnetic guns, Hades will not openly produce them at all, nor will they be sold to Vulcan Company and Function Company. Sniper rifles, semi-automatic rifles, and later automatic rifles, machine guns, submachine guns, and pistols will be optimized and updated bit by bit in the process. Until outsiders develop it, the Kingdom of Kronos will keep the technology firmly sealed. When others research it, the Kingdom of Kronos will occupy the relevant market with better products. Of course, the Kingdom of Kronos hopes to play it as late as possible. As for never being exposed, this is impossible unless they do not intend to use it. I believe that in a few years, Vulcan Company and Function Company will be able to erode the vast majority of the world's arms trade market. Today's most high-end weapons are artillery, which is also the top product of Vulcan Company and Function Company. It is even better than the Navy's standard artillery and is favored by many kingdoms. More accurate artillery makes naval battles more dangerous, pirates more aggressive, and the kingdom's guardian force stronger. After 2 more generations of updates, the accuracy and range of the artillery will be improved. At that time, on the sea, a brand new profession will appear on the stage of history, that is, gunner. Today there are no gunners among pirates, only a few in the Navy. Better artillery combined with excellent gunners will become a powerful weapon in naval battles. Instead of being unable to hit anything like now, it all depends on luck, and it is not even as accurate as those strong people who directly use cannonballs. In contrast, the number of gunmen will increase on the sea. As the accuracy of guns increases, the requirements for gunmen will also decrease a lot. After all, an excellent shooter needs sufficient talent support. This is predictable. In this process, we will try our best to ensure that the Kingdom of Kronos takes the absolute lead in weapons and equipment, but when the missiles are developed, this will not be so important. However, like the world government, the Kingdom of Kronos also hopes to slow down the catching up of other forces and ensure its own superiority. Guns and artillery shells are the main weapons of war in this world. Even those who are strong, if not for a small number of monsters with special physiques, will be injured without armed domineering defense. Only domineering power can surpass everything. Even Roger, the future pirate king, was pierced by 2 long knives without hockey's defense. Especially the demand for each kingdom is tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, not to mention the various forces. Whether it is waging a war or resisting pirates or other people's invasion, it is always good to have more elite weapons. The popularization of powerful weapons and equipment will inevitably have an impact on the rule of the world government, and will also arouse the ambitions of the participating countries and forces. It is also in this way that it increases pressure on the world government, and the update of weapons and equipment will make the world more chaotic, especially the North Sea where wars are frequent. You must know that in wars between kingdoms, even the Navy cannot interfere. Nowadays, the world government is once again in rebellion, which is caused by many reasons. Chapter 12 Scientist. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In addition to the assassination of Hades, there is also a search for arms production sites. There are many spies of the world government within the kingdom, but these are blocked by the Kingdom of Kronos. Outside the restricted area, countless eyes have been set up. Whenever someone approaches, they will be noticed, and certain life-sensing devices will sound alarms. At that time, a large number of hidden Hades and Dark Guards will take action. There are even 300,000 troops stationed in the forbidden area. It has only been 3 years since arms have flowed into all parts of the world, and their influence has mostly been limited to places such as the 4 Seas and the New World, and is not that great. Although the automated production efficiency of the production line is high, it has not yet reached the requirements of Hades. The total output of muskets and flintlock guns alone, whether long-handled or short-handled, was only 6 million in 3 years. The influence on the world is not great, because most of them are armed by those kingdom armies, and only about 1 million actually flow into the sea. Such a quantity would actually make no splash on the sea. The West China Sea and Beihai, where gangs are numerous and crime is rife, are big consumers of arms. You must know that these are very simple weapons, and the production is very simple, but they are not even 1/10 of what Hades imagined. Whether it is the efficiency of production lines, automation, or the operating efficiency of machine tools, they must be continuously improved. This is the foundation of industry and the accumulation of technology that the Kingdom of Kronos must go through to build better machines. It is also because these production lines were established in the early days of the Kingdom of Kronos and were not perfect. Now they are all ready to be updated and have gained experience. Today, the Kingdom of Kronos focuses on heavy industry, the development of steelmaking, metallurgy, machinery, energy, and especially electricity. The first thing Hades developed was the military industry, with it as the core and radiating to wider areas. In this sea, nothing is more important than mastering power, and everything else must be put behind. With the technological foundation of heavy industry, we will slowly move towards light industry and sell goods to all parts of the world. The steps cannot be too big, but the prospects are very bright. Technologies like laser cannons and electromagnetic cannons are not difficult to achieve, and the world's top scientists like Tesla already have solutions. Human body enhancement and nutritional cabins have a certain foundation. The Kingdom of Kronos has already done research on the fields of super soldiers and immortality. However, the Kingdom of Kronos still needs more knowledge about the human body and medical treatment. In this regard, the medical power the Drum Kingdom is definitely more authoritative. They have already sent someone to invite him. There must be people who cannot resist the temptation of money. As long as they are willing to pay the price, there must be people who are willing to come to the Kingdom of Kronos. The environment of the Kingdom of Kronos is much better than that of the Kingdom of the Drum. It has a profound medical background, but this does not mean that the lives of the residents of the Kingdom of the Drum are very good. Even Hades doesn't mind using some illegal means. There are too many pirates and human traffickers, so there are ways. For many things, Hades can produce finished products in just a few months as long as he comes up with a concept. In the Royal Academy of Sciences, there are also some theoretically powerful weapons, oxygen bombs, which have destructive explosive power. When they explode, they will also absorb oxygen over a large area, creating a death zone. This is actually a mother bomb, which is equivalent to two bombs. One absorbs oxygen and the other explodes. After all, it is too difficult and unnecessary to combine the two effects. Neptune's wrath can release special sound waves that resonate with the Neptunes, attracting the Neptunes to come, and at the same time making the Neptunes become violent. They can erupt with terrible effects on the sea and carry out indiscriminate rampage and destruction. Being named after the legendary ancient weapon Sea King is enough to illustrate their ambition. This weapon is aimed at large fleets on the sea similar to the Pirate Alliance and the Navy's demon-slaying order. These two weapons pursue large-scale destruction, and they can be produced in just time. However, the Royal Academy of Sciences is currently focusing on missiles. There are also artificial intelligence that can be actually used, and even nano-insect drones, military robots, electromagnetic rail guns, metal storms and other powerful technologies that have a certain scientific and technological foundation in their imaginations. It will definitely be researched in the future. All that is missing now is time. Thanks to the strong technological foundation of this world, these are not far away. After all, even coke can be used as an energy source. For Hades, the display of black technology that originally existed in fantasy was really exciting. The Royal Academy of Sciences has only been established for 4 years, and it already has a large team of scientists and researchers. A large number of achievements were born from it, injecting new vitality into the development of various industries in the kingdom. Today, the kingdom is still cultivating talents with research capabilities and vigorously supports development in this area. At the same time, we still continue to collect talents in all aspects from all over the world. It's just a small move now. In order not to be noticed by the world government, Hell will speed up its actions when the world becomes more chaotic. Even Hades is eyeing Vegapunk, who is said to have a wisdom beyond the world for 500 years. Where he is now, Hades doesn't know. He only knows that he was born in the future country. The future country is not simple. It is located in an extremely cold zone, the environment is harsh, and the residents live in poverty, but it has strong scientific and technological strength. Many high-end technological products in the sea come from the future country. The economic strength of the future country is not bad, which is why it can become a member of the world government. The Kingdom of Kronos needs to use a learning method to secretly send people there without being discovered by the Navy, otherwise it will be noticed by the world government. The Machine Island is so big that it is difficult to find where Vegapunk is. As long as he becomes famous, he will inevitably attract the attention of the world government. However, as long as you can get those design drawings that Vegapunk left behind when he was a boy, you will make money. As for the future ship called MADS where the world's top scientists will gather, Hades will also send people aboard. Hades would not miss the blood factor known as the design map of life, whether it is cloning, biological modification, or even artificial creatures, eating devil fruits for dead animals. Artificial devil fruits all require the use of bloodline factor technology. As the name suggests, mastering the blood factor can even create life. This is the future. We can even recruit some of the world's top scientists from this organization. Many of the world's top scientists have gathered together, and there must be more than just Vegapunk, Quinn, Gage, and Stussy who have their names in the original work. The others were either hiding incognito or being captured or killed by the world government. If a few can be saved, it will be equivalent to the Kingdom of Kronos mastering the blood factor technology. Chapter 13 Communication Technology. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hades looked at the research progress of some projects within the Royal Academy of Sciences. Communication technology led by Dr. Tesla was further improved, and a prototype telephone was even created. It is somewhat similar to the tablet computer in the previous life. It is the same size as an IPAI. It not only has a call function, but also can conduct video chat. The details still need to be improved, whether it's taking pictures or live broadcasting. You just need to copy some functions of the phone bug, and it can be folded and carried with you. What is missing now is the base station that can amplify the signal, and only the last few steps are left. Once completed, it will take the lead in building a communication network covering the entire kingdom, and at the same time distribute mobile phones to the people of the kingdom to replace the phone bug. Of course, foreign exchanges and information acquisition also rely on telephone bugs. The kingdom will establish a special area that can prevent the phone bug signals from being isolated. Faced with this situation, even if citizens want to use phone bugs to send messages, they can only do so under the surveillance of the kingdom. At the same time, a tablet that can be used all over the world has also been manufactured, but only in the 4 seas. The magnetic field in the 4 seas is relatively stable, and only a dedicated base station needs to be built. After adding functions such as music, games, forums, and live broadcasts, it will quickly become popular all over the world. These functions are many times more advanced than those of phone bugs. Mainly, Hades is willing to popularize tablets, which can replace phone bugs to a certain extent. More diverse functions are the advantages of tablets. However, it is impossible for the Kingdom of Kronos to establish base stations in all kingdoms and islands. Moreover, the range of influence of base station signals is not that large, and it requires a period of technical accumulation, due to the existence of the Great Sea Route, the Windless Zone, and of course, the Red Earth Continent, the special local magnetic field area in the 4 seas. Only telephone bugs can communicate. Telephone bugs have their own special characteristics. They share the same signal network as telephones. Each phone bug has its own unique signal. Besides, except for some special phone bugs, ordinary phone bugs are not expensive. The phone bug has a strong survivability and is a must for pirates in some extreme situations. It is also very convenient to avoid competition. All you need to do is remove the call function from tablets outside the Kingdom of Kronos. The emergence of tablets will have a great impact on the world, especially in terms of bottom layer and information dissemination, and it will definitely have a huge impact on the Great Sea Route. It exists in the 4 seas, but not on the Great Route. When the time comes, someone will definitely set their sights on the Kingdom of Kronos. In this regard, they already have a way to build an independent base station that connects China Unicom's 4C network, which can be connected to the 4C communication network. However, if you want to connect, you must be within a certain range around the base station. It cannot connect if it exceeds the range. According to the range size, it can also be divided into large, medium, small and even. Very large base stations, but what about the price? It's hard to say. It would be interesting to think about if every pirate ship would have a base station in the future, which would become as necessary as the eternal pointer, but this is just an idea, or in the plan, because the base station has not yet been built. But no matter what, the Kingdom of Kronos will have an independent information network. In this era, it is better for the Kingdom of Kronos not to be so public. For the time being, Hades has no such plan because the technology is not yet complete. Moreover, the subsequent development of the kingdom will require a large amount of funds. Although the funds are sufficient, huge trade profits every year, tariffs on goods flowing through the Kingdom of Kronos, freight charges flowing across the world and the New World, taxes within the kingdom, and profits from the arms trade. The economic strength of the Kingdom of Kronos is definitely among the best in the entire world, but there are too many things that the kingdom has to do next. It is enough for the Kingdom of Kronos, and there is no need to spread the word in a hurry. The road must be walked step by step, and you cannot take too big a step. Nutrient solution has been developed into an intermediate version. Primary nutrient solution can replenish nutrients, quickly replenish energy, and restore physical strength and injuries. It is effective for ordinary warriors, but not obvious for stronger ones. The effect of the intermediate nutrient solution is more powerful. When combined with the medical cabin, it can be quickly absorbed by the body. It can replenish physical vitality and nourish the body to a certain extent. It has a certain effect on the treatment of hidden injuries. At an advanced level, it is envisioned that it can replenish vitality, delay aging, optimize the body, and treat hidden injuries. Even the top nutrient solution is an enhanced version with all the functions of high-grade nutrient solution, which can reshape people and extend their lifespan. In terms of weapons, secret submarines have long been built, and some countries on the sea already have submarine technology. However, the submarines of the Kingdom of Kronos are not ordinary submarines. They are more like nuclear submarines from previous lives. The power system is completely replaced by the powerful local energy power. This does not need to be considered. Now only missiles remain. Missile technology is very complex. How to achieve precise guidance and target targets over a large range is a difficult problem that Hades has raised for many scientists. Otherwise, it would be really easy to just launch it like a rocket. Ultra-long distance guidance is what Hades hopes for. The most critical guidance system, and even the automatic tracking system, need to make full use of intelligent technology. Once completed, the Kingdom of Kronos and the coastal area will be very safe. Otherwise, if anyone dares to come, let him see what missile land washing is. A series of weapons and equipment research projects perfectly reflect Hades' phobia of insufficient firepower. If the guidance range is further expanded, even some islands in the sea around the kingdom can be brought under the rule of the Kingdom of Kronos. In the New World, there are many islands with rich resources. Hades looked at the internal intelligence of the kingdom and started writing with a pen in his hand. This is a plan. He is about to leave the kingdom. Before that, he must make a plan and proceed step by step on how to develop next, especially agricultural reform. This can also start. Agriculture is very important to a country, especially the Kingdom of Kronos, which has vast plains and is also a large agricultural country. It's just that the focus was not on agriculture before, and the Kingdom of Kronos had no food needs, so it was put later. In Hades' view, the agricultural production efficiency of the Kingdom of Kronos is not high. Although the physical fitness of ordinary people in this sea is also good, in the future, the Kingdom of Kronos will adopt high-precision mechanized production according to local conditions to make the most of the land. In plains, coastal areas, mountains, and around lakes, food, livestock, irrigated agriculture, and fruit production will be carried out according to the environment. Having a vast plain is the advantage of the Kingdom of Kronos. In addition, the royal family also specially established the Kronos Crown Company, which adopted an agricultural production model similar to that of a country in its previous life. The agricultural industry and commerce form an industrial chain, from primary production of planting and breeding to deep processing of production, and then to sales and after-sales, effectively combining them to form a one-stop operation model. It is equivalent to combining the advantages of agricultural production in the beautiful country and the fairy tale country. Chapter 14 Research Base. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In addition, there are a large number of agricultural auxiliary equipment. According to Hades' conjecture, if this model is completed, the benefits brought by agriculture and animal husbandry in the Kingdom of Kronos can be dozens of times greater than today. He clearly knows how much benefit such an advanced production model can bring, both for citizens and the country. The number of farmers will decrease, freeing up more productivity to invest in the construction of the country. Due to time issues, implementation has not yet started. Such a reform will be a major event and requires careful planning and step-by-step implementation to minimize the impact. Now the results have been achieved in the small experimental areas specially approved by the kingdom. After he leaves, it will start from the core area and gradually spread to the whole country according to the plan. The entire process can take several years. The Kingdom of Kronos is big, but not too big, at least in Hades' eyes. As for the rest, it will be left to other people in the kingdom to coordinate. There are enough talents and execution capabilities in the kingdom. The Tartarus royal family is the ruler of the kingdom. There is only one noble in the Kingdom of Kronos, and that is the Tartarus royal family. Those nobles have long been eliminated or declined over a long period of time. Even if they still exist, they have little reputation and dare not cause trouble. Only the royal family of Tartarus is eternal. Those with different intentions were mostly cleared up after the last war launched by the world government was resolved. Hades was very lucky to live in such a kingdom, with the absolute rule of the royal family and the absolute monopoly of the kingdom. It's like a blank picture scroll, allowing him to splash out ink and make corrections as he pleases. It is precisely because of this kind of power that the world government is afraid, and it also makes it extremely difficult for them to dismember the Kingdom of Kronos. Even if Hades is not in the kingdom, Hades and the Royal Academy of Sciences will still report information and progress to him. Since he officially took over Hades, he has been half the leader of the kingdom. The Kingdom of Kronos is very powerful, but it still cannot avoid the assassination of the world government. The agent who assassinated his stand-in was a top agent with powerful latent abilities, and he was also a user with the presence fruit ability, and by developing the fruit's ability to an extremely advanced level, he can minimize his own sense of existence and make people subconsciously ignore his existence. Therefore, he was able to sneak into the palace through many obstacles. In the end, the assassination was successful, but it also failed because the assassin was just a stand-in and died under the siege. What if the target of the assassination is Hades himself? Who knows what kind of weird abilities the world government has? This is also the reason why Hades wants to leave the kingdom. Although he can sense emotions with his knowledge, his own strength is still his biggest weakness. Although the kingdom is powerful, it is not completely safe. It was more due to his desire for strength. This assassination gave him a sense of crisis, and he needed more pressure to grow quickly and gain real power. Orcus, the royal capital of the Kingdom of Kronos. In the northeast of the royal capital, there is a research base. On this day, Hades came. Before leaving the Kingdom of Kronos, he wanted to see the research situation here. The information transmitted from Hades is incomplete because it and the Royal Academy of Sciences are two different organizations and belong to different families. Your Highness, you are here. Seeing Hades' arrival, a young researcher in a white coat greeted him respectfully. News that Hades was coming had been sent to the research base in advance, and people had been arranged to wait outside. Let's go in and take a look. Hades nodded slightly. No need to do anything. The sealed door opened automatically, and the surveillance camera at the door had scanned Hades' figure. Even Hades' pupil membrane can be read through the picture. For the entire research base, Hades undoubtedly has the highest authority. Inside, it's a completely different scene. Everywhere is full of a sense of technology, with long corridors connecting laboratories. The design and manufacture of firearms, effectiveness experiments, and most of the latest weapons developed by the Kingdom of Kronos come from this research base. This research base originally existed in the Kingdom of Kronos. With Hades establishing the Royal Academy of Sciences, the scale of this research base can no longer meet the needs of research. Therefore, in another place, the Kingdom of Kronos rebuilt a larger research base, and this research base has not been abolished. The research, updating, and upgrading of ordinary arms and weapons are all done here. The really important confidential research, those on high-end weapons technology, are all arranged in the newly built research base. Compared with those technologies, these sniper rifles and automatic rifles are not considered secrets at all, and the gap in importance is as big as the sky. This does not mean that the underground research base in the royal capital is not taken seriously, but there is no need for outstanding scientists to waste time here. After entering the research base, no one continued to follow him. In the research base, every scientist and researcher was very busy and had projects to complete. Most of these projects are related to important projects in the newly built research base. Compared with those high-end technologies, the arms here are undoubtedly much lower end. If you are approved in research, you can move further into the more advanced research base called Celestial God, because there is a group of the most elite scientists in the entire kingdom and even the world. This research base is called Spark, and you can feel the difference just by hearing the name. They also knew that Hades had a noble status and his target would naturally not be the Spark research base. I saw Hades coming to the deepest part of the research base, where there was a special room. Scan your face to pass and the door will open. What came into view were rows of weapons, a large number of weapons displayed on the walls like an exhibition: semi-automatic rifles, sniper rifles, automatic pistols, automatic rifles, machine guns, submachine guns, light machine guns, assault rifles, sniper rifles, rocket launchers, etc. Various styles of daggers, grenades, and flash bombs can be carried with you. In his past life, what Hades wanted most was to have a weapons arsenal of his own, and now he finally realized his dream. Most of these weapons have been researched, and a small number are still conceptual design models. It only takes a certain amount of time to create finished products. Of course, Hades's purpose was not this, he just came to take a look. Chapter 15 Nikola Tesla Celestial System. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the Spark Research Base, there is also a secret elevator that leads specifically to the Celestial God Research Base. Going down the elevator, there is an open and vast space underground under the Spark Research Institute, with various facilities. The first thing you see is a silver train. This is a train that extends along the track from the underground of the kingdom to Xiaozong Mountain outside the royal capital. The research base of the Kingdom of Kronos is located inside and underground of Xiaozong Mountain. In order to build the Celestial God Research Base, the Kingdom of Kronos hollowed out the entire Xiaozong Mountain. This is definitely a big deal. The main function of this train is to transport people and materials. Now, Hades will use this train to go to the Celestial Research Institute. Entering the train runs smoothly and quickly under the operator's activation. Empty underground, huge cave, very bright inside. Tianshan Research Base is a huge research base like a pyramid. The total number of scientists and researchers reaches 8,000. Compared to the entire research base, this number can be said to be relatively small. It is very common for one person to have one laboratory. For the construction of the Celestial God Research Base, the Kingdom of Kronos used the scale of 100,000 people as its standard. The amount of money spent is a huge amount. Not to mention that the experimental funds consumed every once in a while are simply like running water and are not spent at all. Just like a pyramid, the higher up the laboratory the more important the research projects it represents. However, many items are closely related, such as nutrient solutions and human body enhancement potions. One of the core technologies of the medical chamber used in conjunction with nutrient solution is to form a special magnetic field to enhance human body activity and assist the body in perfectly absorbing nutrient solution. It can even have beneficial effects on the human body. Research on electronic communications is related to radar, missiles and other related technologies. Of course, the entire Tianshan Research Base's research is on projects that are not very destructive. Projects that pose a great threat will be transferred to another test base for testing and research, that is, a barren mountain near the Fuya Mountains in the Kingdom of Kronos. Otherwise, if one goes out of control, the entire research base will be destroyed, as well as the many researchers inside. Such losses are something they don't want to see. Some special projects will also build a small research base. For example, the research on oxygen bombs and Wrath of the Sea King is placed at the beach. Submarine research is placed in a secret military port in the kingdom. Hades did not stop and looked at the situation inside the research base along the way, leading straight to the top of the Celestial Research Institute. To these researchers, they don't care who Hades is. In fact, the establishment of the Royal Academy of Sciences and the proposal of Hades's ideas were all behind the scenes, and not many people knew about it. There were only a few scientists that Hades really valued that he had personally met and communicated with. At the top of the Tianshan Research Base stands a huge research institute. The three characters TSL are very clear, representing the owner of this research institute and the most capable person in the entire Tianshan Research Base. He was praised by Hades as a man close to God. Nikola Tesla. Such a title does not refer to strength, but to the terrifying knowledge and talent, which is as omnipotent as a god. Especially in the field of electromagnetic research, he is ahead of the entire world. He is an absolutely talented scientist. With a CI sound, the door opened. Your Highness, it's been such a long time. A figure walked out of it and greeted Hades cordially. Others in the institute will definitely be very surprised when they see it, because Tesla is a weirdo. Although he has enough talent, his personality is not lovable. The most important thing is that in front of Tesla, those who call themselves geniuses will look a little stupid, but they have to admit Tesla's ability. Many people fell in love with Tesla. Within the Tianshan Research Base, Tesla is known as a man with wisdom that surpasses the world for 300 years. I'm about to leave the Kingdom of Kronos. The next time I come back may be 10 years later, so come and have a look. Hades did not hide it. He was very optimistic about Tesla. He had the domineering ability to sense emotions. He knew how to get along with talents like Tesla. Being friends is definitely the best way. For Tesla, Hades was his boss and the person who knew him best. His research on electromagnetism is powerful enough to change the world, and all of this is with the full support of Hades. Look at each of the projects Tesla studied. Which one is not the absolute core of the Kingdom of Kronos? It can create the electromagnetic field of thunder and lightning, and can change the intensity of thunder and lightning through adjustment, and perform thunder and lightning body forging. The control of the magnetic field forms a special gravitational field, forming gravity. The destructive electromagnetic circle can release a terrifying thunder and lightning surround, which plays a huge role in trapping people and defending. Electromagnetic gun. Needless to say, the electromagnetic field in the medical warehouse forms electromagnetic fluctuations that have a beneficial impact on the human body. The Tower of Death can release super-electric shocks in fixed-point strikes. Magnetic blast bomb, a super-destructive bomb containing the power of magnetism. In addition, there is research on high-end projects such as missile systems, artificial intelligence, and robots. The most important thing is a confidential research project codenamed X within the Tianjin Research Base. The Tianjin system is named after the Tianjin Research Base. The function of the celestial system is to temporarily control the magnetic field in a special way, through the study of the magnetic fields of extreme weather around the world, by artificially changing the magnetic field of a place, controlling the weather, causing natural disasters, and even directly causing magnetic storms. The entire project is an absolute taboo in the Kingdom of Kronos, and only 3 people know about it, including Hades, Tesla and King Bane. Although the project has not been approved, research has actually begun. The projects and technologies he is currently researching are actually accumulating technology for the creation of the celestial God system. Even some projects are directly related to the God system, but those researchers don't know. Chapter 16 Training. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Are you going to be gone for so long? Tesla couldn't help but frown after hearing what Hades said. He didn't understand what was going on outside and didn't want to ask the reason, but with his wisdom he could tell that this was not a good thing. Turning around and walking into the laboratory, a mechanism opened on the wall, revealing a sealed safe inside. Carrying the safe, he came to Hades. I originally planned to give it to you after the technology is complete. Since you are leaving, I will give it to you in advance. Tesla said. His expression became serious. He slowly entered the password, opened the safe, and revealed the item stored inside, a metal ball the size of a fist, with a timer-like device on the surface. This is a magnetic burst bomb, but the technology is not yet complete. The size cannot be further reduced, and the explosion power is only 1/3 of what was imagined. Remember to use it with care. After closing the safe again, Tesla handed the safe to Hades. Tesla had developed a magnetic blast bomb, and Hades was a little surprised, but not very shocked. For Tesla, the constraints on his research capabilities are always time and funds. Goodbye then. Meeting once was enough for Hades. The magnetic blast bomb was a complete surprise. For talents like Tesla, they must be under control. He already has the idea to obtain the magnetic fruit and the thunder fruit. He believes that any of the devil fruits will be developed to the extreme in Tesla's hands, and there may even be no limit, but this is not what he wants to see, and God knows what the consequences will be. Just give it to your future children, and with Tesla's teachings, you will definitely be able to develop the 2 devil fruits to an unimaginable extent. Hades left the research base and returned to the palace. For Hades, daily training is essential, whether it is strength or physical strength. A strong body is the most basic thing for a strong person and requires long-term accumulation. Fighting is just a way to unleash your potential. There are 2 black rings on each limb. Each ring is made of special black iron. Its only characteristic is its heavy weight. 1 ring weighs 1 ton, it is equivalent to Hades carrying a load of 8 tons. Hades can completely bear this kind of pressure. In the specially built training room, the ground is flat, and after every Hades training, someone will repair the damaged ground. Bad foot, the ground beneath him cracked in an instant, and Hades' figure disappeared directly, appearing dozens of meters away. He didn't stop, blasting his speed back and forth across the field. I saw dozens of figures of Hades appearing on the field. Shadows formed due to their speed. In the entire closed training ground, the airflow caused by Hades' too fast speed actually formed a hurricane. The guards guarding the outside felt the movement in the training ground and were already used to it. This has just begun, and it is just a warm-up for His Highness. Everyone knows that His Highness is a real monster. Even some old guards who have worked in the palace for decades remember what Jaeger looked like when he was training. The movement is also huge, but at the same time, it is far less powerful than Hades. After all, the sense of crisis faced by both sides is different. And the training time and intensity will also be somewhat different. After an unknown amount of time, Hades' figure stopped in an instant. He pressed the button on the wall, and pillars made of ironwood rose from the ground around him. Broken sheath, that I saw Hades constantly waving his arms, stretching out his fingers to pierce in a straight line like a broken sword. The target is the hard and strong iron wood. The outstretched fingers of both hands are constantly changing, exercising each finger as much as possible. Faced with Hades' constant attacks, cracks appeared on the iron wood, and it was quickly penetrated. After adapting for a while, Hades combined with his violent feat and moved around the field again. This time, he used it with sword flash at the same time. The target was these iron trees, different directions, different actions, goals switching back and forth. Sword flash. Hades opened his arms, and his outstretched index and middle fingers were like the two blades of a sword, generating powerful cutting force through extremely fast wing movement. Also in conjunction with explosive foot, Hades' finger sword cut back and forth on the iron wood, causing cracks to appear on it. Some of the iron wood could not withstand Hades' power and was directly broken into pieces. If explosive heel and scabbard break are physical techniques created by Hades based on the 6th Marine-style shaver and finger spear, sword flash is the product of the finger lance and kendo techniques. The next thunder flash is similar to the flying finger gun, a derivative skill of the finger gun. The 10 fingers of both hands struck the air flexibly, and the powerful power condensed on Hades' fingertips. The air slashes also converged on one point, and shot out quickly like a laser, easily penetrating iron wood, and possessing terrifying cutting power. From a distance, it looks like Hades' fingers shot lasers out of thin air. It went on like this for a long time, and the entire venue became disfigured, and the iron wood became dilapidated. Hades gasped for air, his limbs felt extremely tired, and the pressure on his body continued to increase in the process, as if he was carrying a mountain on his back, and what he wanted was this effect. He jumped up slightly and stepped quickly on the air with his feet on the way down, trying to keep the same height. It was as if there was a rope hanging Hades in the air and he was constantly kicking his feet. At the same time, Hades continued to remove the weight of his body, the weight of the rings on his body, and the resistance of the air. This is naturally impossible, but Hades is constantly trying, combining the use of paper drawings and certain special boxing techniques into his own physical skills. The results are there. As long as Hades takes off the weight on his body, he can run through the air at extremely fast speeds. The technique called Sky Chaser is Hades' further development of the moon step, and this is just the most basic. What Hades really exercises is his body and force-relieving skills. The physical arts in this world are full of violence. The so-called skills are ultimately about explosive power, the development of the body, the use of blood, muscles, and bones. In response to these, Hades developed a set of physical skills exclusive to him based on the Bajiquan he had learned before. Every move is filled with a terrifying force, possessing terrifying destructive power and explosive power. Similarly, Hades has also delved into another path in terms of skills. The force-relieving skills learned through Tai Chi have been combined with paper painting and integrated into his own physical skills. Zhukong, developed based on moon steps, and Wandering Dragon developed based on paper drawings, both use the technique of unloading force. Such techniques are of great help to the development and control of the body. During the battle, unnecessary physical exertion is reduced, the body is fully utilized, and there is no need to use the body to resist the enemy's attack. The combination of strength and softness, the unity of mind, body and skills is what he hopes for. Bajiquan will become his main attack method, with corresponding moves for claws, punches, and kicks. Tai Chi, on the other hand, integrates force-relieving techniques into its own physical skills. Hades is less concerned about using force to exert force. Chapter 17:8 Fist. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the face of absolute power, all these are empty, and the technique of unloading force is also for better use in battle. What's ridiculous is that Hades' learning of Tai Chi was entirely out of fear of his own strength. There was a period of time, that is, after the death of his father Jaeger, Hades realized the importance of strength and began arduous training. It has the kingdom's top resources, wild beasts, Neptune-like meat, and precious medicinal materials. With the explosion of his own potential, Hades' strength grew by leaps and bounds within a certain period of time. Due to the rapid improvement in strength, he was unable to fully control his own power. It was not visible on the surface, but he could clearly feel it. Therefore, he began to practice physical skills, learn various techniques, and control strength, including not only the 6 naval styles, but also various physical skills collected by the kingdom, among them, Bajiquan and Taijiquan, which I studied for a period of time in my previous life, are the foundation. After constant sparring, Hades gradually revealed his talent in combat and formed his own unique physical skills. As his strength increased, Hades gradually strengthened his control over strength and body. The 6th form of the Navy is known as the secret of return of life, and it was naturally mastered by Hades. The inch strength of Bajiquan is also mastered in this process, although similar techniques are also available in this world. Just like the Ba Bao Navy's Ba Chong Quan, Bajiquan naturally has its own unique characteristics. The attack and defense of Ba Chong Quan are integrated. The ultimate destruction of Bajiquan, the 8-punch punch, can create a powerful and diffuse shock wave. Bajiquan, on the other hand, condenses the power into one point and can exert terrifying force. Not only is it difficult to detect, but it can also directly penetrate into the enemy's body to cause internal damage. If compared, it is somewhat similar to the internal destruction technique of armed color hockey. In other words, it is not difficult for Hades to master the internal destruction skills of armed color hockey. As long as Hades awakens his armed hockey, he will naturally be able to master it when his hockey reaches a certain level. Not only the internal destruction of hockey, but also the control of the body with Hades' current physical skills, the so-called hardened entanglement and domineering outward display, are not difficult for him at all. This is not the level of domineering, but just the skills of using domineering, and the skills are very difficult for some people, as difficult to cross as a chasm, and very simple for some people. There are many people on the sea who have mastered advanced techniques of using hockey in a short period of time. Even among the big forces, those who have relevant experience can quickly master the advanced application techniques of domineering. It is precisely because of this that some people can undergo astonishing transformations in a short period of time, and their strength has been improved astonishingly. After hard training, Hades' body has reached its limit. As his last set of Tai Chi ended, Hades breathed a sigh of relief and formed a column of air in the air. His breathing had returned to calmness and his heartbeat had stabilized. My whole body seemed to be relieved from the extremely tight state. The mind is empty, the mood is peaceful, the artistic conception is quiet, and the exhausted energy begins to recover. I don't know when, but after every exercise, Hades would habitually do a set of Tai Chi. Whenever this happens, Hades will feel unprecedented comfort and feel a slight improvement in his strength. You can clearly feel your body, your internal organs, the flow of blood, muscles and bones, and your control over your body will improve. What's more important is that through the training of the heart, the domineering power of knowledge and color that is naturally awakened will progress and improve day by day. Gradually, the mastery of the special ability of seeing and hearing color domineering becomes deeper, and the god's perspective becomes clearer and wider. Even the overlord's domineering power was mastered by Hades in the process. Of course, there is the reason for Hades' own talent, but it also has to be said that Tai Chi has brought great benefits to Hades, which is why he can persist. Hades did not intend to remove the ring on his body. He had already begun to adapt to the weight. Leave the training ground and return to your own palace. Immediately after he left, someone came over to repair the training ground. After rinsing his body, Hades came to a medical warehouse. Under the control of professionals, he put on a mask connected to the trachea and lay down in the medical warehouse. As the machine started, the crystal-clear intermediate nutrient solution quickly filled Hades' entire body. The invisible magnetic field enveloped Hades' body and invaded Hades' body, causing a special impact on the inside of his body. Under a special pressure, Hades' body floated in the center of the medical bay. Close your eyes and fall into a deep sleep. Your whole body is relaxed under the special magnetic field, as if there are countless massage machines massaging every cell in your body. The exhausted energy is also slowly recovering and relaxing. It's as comfortable as lying in mother's arms. Hades' body greedily absorbed the nutrient solution to replenish the body's lack of energy, restore Hades' body, and repair the damage that Hades' extreme exercise may have caused to the body. Although such damage can be said to not exist, Hades has a monster-like physique and strong recovery power. The so-called extreme exercise is just to better develop Hades' potential. After every exercise, Hades needs to lie down in the medical warehouse. You must know that every amount of intermediate nutrient solution used is worth 2 million. What Hades uses is not an ordinary mid-level nutrient solution. It is specially made. On the basis of ensuring the original effect, some rare medicinal materials that can strengthen the muscles, bones and body are added. Even the important organs in beasts like snake gallbladder and bear heart, the vast swaggering mountains and the beast forest are the treasures of the Kingdom of Kronos. The beast forest is rich in medicinal materials and beast resources. Yes, those so-called beasts are just a resource in the eyes of the Kingdom of Kronos. The swaggering mountains are connected to the beast forest, but are completely occupied by the Kingdom of Kronos. 500,000 troops are stationed in the Swagger Mountains to protect the interests of the Kingdom of Kronos and resist the beasts that may come from the beast forest, rich mineral resources, gold mines, iron mines, and even some rare gemstones. The most famous one is Bain Mountain, the largest silver vein in the world. The wealthy one is talking about the Kingdom of Kronos. Chapter 18 Ananke. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 10 minutes later, the nutrient solution in the medical warehouse had been consumed and all had been absorbed by Hades' body, full of energy and strength that had returned to its peak. Hades' condition was completely restored. It was such a powerful supplement that he didn't even need to eat dinner, because Hades' body is very full, there is no lack of energy, and there is no feeling of being stretched. Up to now, Hades has not eaten dinner for a year and has replaced it with nutrient solution. Hades' palace is in a good location in the palace, but it is inconspicuous. It is just his temporary residence, and the real palace is on the other side. It was also there that his double was assassinated without warning. Even his substitute is protected by 2 Hades guards in secret, but he was still killed in full public view. If he was a mere CP0 and escaped, it would definitely be a shame to the Kingdom of Kronos. Hades stood in front of the window. The world government must have known the news of the failed assassination, although he didn't know how to confirm it. During this period, the spying and assassinations continued. There are 8 Hades hidden in the dark, and even deeper, powerful men with top combat power. With such protective power, it is impossible for anything to happen to Hades. Suddenly, Hades frowned and turned to look to the west of the palace. Here we go again. No need to guess, this is an agent of the world government, this is another assassination, or they are here to spy on information. From a distance, he seemed to smell the dark atmosphere. The rapidly growing hegemony of knowledge and color can easily cover the entire royal capital. Once anyone with evil intentions approaches, Hades will notice it, but he didn't care because the infiltrator had been discovered. Someone will take care of it next. As the science and technology of the Kingdom of Kronos advances, the control over the interior of the kingdom will be strengthened. The life monitoring instruments installed in the arms industrial area are also present in every corner of the palace. Perhaps these blind spots were specially reserved for these intruders. In the past year, they have captured many world government agents in this way. After all, there are only a few people who can sneak into the palace as openly as the transparent fruit user. 10 days later, the garden inside the palace. This was also the day Hades left the Kingdom of Kronos. Not many people came to say goodbye, and Hades and Ben didn't want to be too lively, so they had already said hello a few days ago. Ananke, why are you following me? Hades looked at the blonde girl beside him and asked with a frown. His tone was unusually soft. Of course I'm going to see with you, Hades. The beautiful girl named Ananke said seriously, hugging Hades' right arm tightly with both arms, and constantly rubbing her already very plump breasts, beautiful blonde hair, delicate face, and a sweet fragrance exuding from her body. No. Hades refused without hesitation. This is no joke. Just stay in the capital and wait for me to come back. No, I want to go with you. Ananke said with some reluctance, tears welling up in his eyes, giving Hades a headache. Everyone else around them tacitly looked away into the distance without disturbing the two of them. Ananke, a member of the Tartarus family, is 3 years older than Hades, and can be said to be his cousin. However, their blood relationship is not close, and they belong to 2 separate branches, far apart. They lived together since they were very young and had a very close relationship. Of course, she also had another identity. She was Hades' fiancée. The relationship was settled very early on. It was decided by his mother herself, and even his father approved it. When he saw Ananke, his mother Nyx liked it very much and made a decision immediately. Regarding this matter, Hades accepted it calmly. No matter it was the previous life or this life, he could not have only one woman in his life, let alone such a stunning girl. The blood connection also brought some spiritual stimulation to Hades. This is also recognized by the members of the Tartarus family. Hades is the future of the Tartarus family and his destiny. He is the destined future master of the Kingdom of Kronos. And Ananke is the most outstanding young woman in the Tartarus family. Whether it is appearance, intelligence, or potential, combined with Hades, she can definitely give birth to outstanding offspring. Take Ananke with you, Hades. Ananke's ability can also bring you a lot of help. Ben also tried to persuade Ananke beforehand, but it was of no use and he finally compromised. As he said, Ananke's abilities would be of great help to Hades. Ananke is a superhuman clock fruit user, a bug ability involving time, ability to control time forward or backward within a local area. Using it on yourself can help you recover from your injuries and return to the state you were in before the injury. It can play a great role in battle. It can be used on others to return the physical state to a not too long time point in the past. This time may often only be a few seconds, because it consumes a lot of physical strength. It seems short, but it has great strategic significance. It can be done by returning the body to before the injury to recover from the injury, or even resurrecting the dead. They have already tested it. The premise is that this time point cannot be exceeded. In short, people who have been dead for a few seconds can be resurrected, which means they can offset a fatal injury. The only drawback is that it consumes too much physical energy. If the news spreads, it will definitely attract the attention of many people in the sea. With such ability, Ananke is definitely the treasure of the Tartarus family, but it means nothing if he does not follow Hades. Although dangerous, the advantages to Hades outweighed the disadvantages. If Hades died accidentally, Aknan would be able to save Hades' life, which would be worth it. All in all, Hades is everything. He is destiny. He is the only direct descendant of the Tartarus family. Everyone only recognizes Hades. The last one was Jaeger. Although Ben was Jaeger's younger brother and was relatively good in his own right, he did not show that potential. His own strength has reached the level of a quasi-general, but he is still some distance away from top-level combat power. As the patriarch of the Tartarus family and even the king of the Kingdom of Kronos, he can only be said to be barely qualified. Within the family, there are people who are stronger than Ben. As a king, it is impossible if you do not have the power to overwhelm the kingdom. Of course, it was also because after Bane became king, he had a lot of affairs and no time to exercise, so his strength naturally stagnated. The Kingdom of Kronos exercises power politics. The king has absolute power, and the royal family of Tartarus has the highest status. Even if political means are not sufficient, strength is necessary. This is related to the stability of the kingdom and the dominance of the Tartarus family. The Tartarus royal family was able to rule the kingdom of Kronos for a long time because of its absolute power. Of course, after more than 1,000 years of rule, some things have long been deeply rooted in people's hearts. To govern a country, naturally there are many talents who can do it. Even the hidden elders in the Tartarus family have high expectations for Hades. All this time, from the time when Bane became the king of the Kingdom of Kronos, he was just an agent, and it has been more than 20 years now. Bane is also waiting to step down, formerly Jaeger and now Hades. Chapter 19 Dove. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This is the family, because they know who can bring glory to the Tartarus family, in whose hands the kingdom can become stronger. Especially the changes that Hades brought to the kingdom after taking over Hades convinced them of this. Okay. Facing Ananke's irresistible look, Hades was silent for a long time and sighed. With Hades' permission, Ananke hugged Hades tightly. At this time of parting, he was happy but also a little sad. Well, then you go ahead. Your mother has arranged a boat to pick you up. Ben nodded. The Kingdom of Kronos is very vast. If we walk, we don't know how long it will take to walk from the capital to the shore. Moreover, some areas of the country are currently maintaining a chaotic situation, which is very likely to be exposed to the eyes of the world government, so you can't use ordinary methods. The Kingdom of Kronos keeps a group of ospreys in captivity, also known as Kes eagles, which means crossing the sky. This is a creature unique to the Kingdom of Kronos. It is a kind of giant eagle among the eagles. Its wings are more than 10 meters wide when spread out, and the largest one even reaches 30 meters. They have a peaceful temperament, are very intelligent, and are friendly to people after being cultivated. This kind of eagle can not only fly, but also glide into the sea for a short time. It likes to eat fish and can even hunt small sea animals. This was also the mount that took Hades and the others away. At this time, the Kes eagles were ready, with blankets on their backs, and there were two of them. One end would carry the Titans, while Hades and Aknan would ride on one end. "Let's go," Hades greeted Titan. "Yes, your highness," Titan followed. Titania looked at the terrifying power contained in his somewhat fat body. He took out a roasted leg from under his loose clothes, opened his mouth, bit it continuously, and swallowed the bones together into his stomach. As a user with the ability of the gluttonous fruit, Titan has a huge space in his body, which is almost endless. Possessing the terrifying talent of gluttony, the devouring power attached to the ability can devour all matter. It can release poisonous mist, which is condensed from the evil spirit and can corrode even steel. It can also be combined with the gluttony talent to have a powerful devouring attraction. Tao Tai is a ferocious beast, and as an ability user, Titan naturally has an evil aura in his body. It is similar to the fierce aura that comes with Hades' natural fierce physique. In the future, it can be used together with the armed color hockey like Douglas Barrett's ghost aura to increase the combat effectiveness by one level. Hades and the others did not bring anything with them when traveling, because they were all stored in the devouring space within Titan's body: food, daily necessities, exercise equipment, and even a golden treasure. Bailey, facing the Titan, Osprey clearly had a look of fear in his eyes, and the faint aura of a ferocious beast suppressed Osprey at the life level. Despite this, he still reluctantly let Titan sit on his back, hoping to end this mission quickly. Two Ospreys spread their wings and flew high, taking the three Hades with them. As the Osprey flew higher and higher, the capital city continued to shrink in their eyes. The scenery in the sky is so magnificent, but Hades has no nostalgia, because he will come back eventually. "Dove," looking at the disappearing figure in the sky, Ben said softly. As soon as he finished speaking, a tall figure appeared out of thin air. Behind Ben, he was wearing a black cloak. He was like a ghost, without any breath on his body and without saying a word. "Protect Hades secretly. No accidents allowed." Ben was extremely serious. "Yes." The man in black robe nodded and disappeared again, as if he had never been there. How can Ben and the others be relieved about Hades' departure? Who knows if there will be any accidents during this process? Although he didn't say it, he actually sent people to protect him secretly, in order not to affect Hades. The strongest dove in Hades was specially sent to protect Hades. Dove has top-level combat power and is the strongest shield of the Tartarus family, proficient in two-color hockey and powerful in physical skills. He is the top combat power in the sea even without relying on devil fruit. However, he is also a space-type superhuman with the ability to replace fruits. The ability to replace the fruit can allow people to change places with objects at will. The appearance and departure just now was because Dove used the ability to change places with the dust in the air. In other words, Dove has the ability to teleport at will, and can move with others. This kind of ability can have very terrible effects in war, whether it is saving people or killing people with a borrowed knife. If you don't have enough hockey, you can't resist Dove's ability to replace fruits. In a sense, Dove represents undefeated. By now, Dove's replacement fruit has already reached the level of awakening. Originally it could only replace a whole, but now it can separate and replace the whole. What does this mean? Dove can completely replace a person's heart with a stone. What will the result be like? It's a bit scary to think about it. Joe, who has the ability to replace fruits, is considered a strong person even among the top combat powers. Especially in assassination, the power displayed is much more powerful than in frontal combat. Of course, what Ban values most is the ability of Dove to move in space, so that he can escape with Hades in really dangerous moments. Hades' life is above all else. The Tartarus family has already lost a Jaeger, and will never allow them to lose Hades again. The departure of Dove will not affect the operation of Hades, and the Kingdom of Kronos does not need the power of Dove for the time being. The threat posed by the world government is not great. Although it has created a lot of momentum within the country, it is only a big noise but a small raindrop. General Zophi alone can handle it. Even in the last war started by the world government, the Kingdom of Kronos did not send Dove, and it is the same this time. For the world government, Dove is still a hidden and unknown force. Under the pressure brought by the world government, the Tartarus family increased their investment in Hades. It is obvious that the number of members in Hades has greatly increased, and more talents have emerged, and a training analysis team has been specially formed to judge potential, create appropriate training plans, and select those with potential to focus on training. Those who are not selected will also be assigned positions based on differences. This system has only been gradually improved in recent years, and it is even more efficient than the Navy, before the establishment of the Navy Elite Training Camp. Ben and Hades also have plans to increase the number of 24 Hades to 36, even the positions of 3 Hades generals were added between the Hades and the Commander-in-Chief Geo of Hell. In addition to the special training camps in Hades, within the army, the Kingdom of Kronos has also established an elite military academy. An elite secretly controlled and cultivated on behalf of the Tartarus royal family. One is an elite cultivated by the Kingdom of Kronos. Even for many people in the Kingdom of Kronos, Hades is still a mysterious institution that only knows its name. The Tartarus royal family will also arrange for some geniuses who are not suitable to stay in Hades to join the elite military academy. Chapter 20 Mother Nyx. You are listening at novelfold.audio. The sea will not be calm next. The pressure faced by the Kingdom of Kronos from the world government will become smaller, and it still needs to do its best to increase its strength. Fortunately, supported by the huge profits from the arms trade, the 5 royal chambers of commerce's share of trade with the 4 seas and the New World is also increasing year by year. The foundation of the Kingdom of Kronos can also support the internal development of the kingdom. Whether it is the investment in Hades, the Royal Academy of Sciences, or the subsequent agricultural reform within the kingdom, there will definitely be a small loss in the early stage. After Hades leaves, the agricultural reform of the Kingdom of Kronos will begin and continue to spread from the inside out. At the same time, construction of maglev trains has begun in small parts of the kingdom, which will eventually form a transportation network connecting all important towns and ports in the kingdom. There are also cargo trains dedicated to transporting goods. The two are separated and cooperate with sea transportation to transport large quantities of goods in containers to reduce costs and greatly increase efficiency. There are also special military trains used to transport troops and supplies, but military trains are all built underground. With the establishment of the transportation network, the role of the trade hub of the Kingdom of Kronos will become even more important, and it is now more closely connected with various forces in the New World. As long as it is profitable, more people will join this trade alliance and move closer to the Kingdom of Kronos. This is all what Ben needs to help Hades complete before Hades comes back. Whether it is agricultural reform or the establishment of a transportation network, it is a big project that will take many years to complete. Now that the future goals have been set, all that can be done is to implement them, and the entire kingdom will be invested in the next construction. The development of the kingdom has never been so clear. There is a clear goal and target. Just on this one, heading north through the primeval forest, you finally arrive at the coast of the Kingdom of Kronos. The osprey landed steadily from the sky. You guys go first. Hades touched the osprey's head, hugged Ananke's slim waist, and jumped to the ground. As far as the eye can see is a steep cliff, and at this time a pirate ship has stopped under the cliff. The pirate flag is not the rock's pirates as imagined, but a black moon covering a skull. Hades's eyes lit up and he couldn't help showing joy. He saw a familiar figure on the pirate ship. When he saw this pirate flag, Hades knew who was coming to pick him up. This was something he didn't expect. He thought his uncle had made arrangements to send someone to take him to Hachino's island. The two looked at each other from a distance. It was a sexy woman wearing a black robe and a purple veil on her face. She is Hades's mother, Lady Knight Nyx. 2 years after the death of Hades' father Jaeger, when he was 6 years old, Nyx left the Kingdom of Kronos and returned to the Rock's pirates. He wants to use the power of the Rock's pirates to take revenge on the world government and the Navy, and establish the Night Pirates. Never underestimate a woman's desire for revenge. The Navy suffered a lot from Nyx. Within the Navy, Nyx was even known as the Crazy Woman. None of them expected that after Jaeger's death, Nyx would burst out with such huge potential. Originally Nyx was just a little transparent attached to Jaeger, an ordinary member of the Rock's pirates, even though she had a powerful ability. But to be honest, the Navy did not take the threat of Nyx seriously. Lady Knight Nyx, a leader of the Rocks Pirates, the captain of the Black Knight Pirates, a person with the natural Knight Fruit ability, and a bounty of 400 million belly, is a great pirate with a great reputation on the sea. The Knight Pirates were founded by Nyx after returning to the Rocks Pirates. In just a few years, he was attached to the Rocks Pirates as an affiliated pirate group. Hades was also able to get some information about his mother over the years. However, he did not expect that his mother would come to pick him up in person. Thinking about it, he was not surprised. With Jaeger dead, Hades is now Nyx's only support, so how can she rest assured that others will come to pick up Hades? What if someone plots against me? After all, she knew the situation within the Rocks Pirates very well. There were no good people at all. My dear baby. Arriving on the boat and looking at Hades' figure, Nyx hugged Hades excitedly and kissed Hades' cheek gently. Then he looked at Hades' handsome face and stroked it carefully with his white jade-like palms. Hades. You have grown up. Nyx felt a little emotional and a little excited. After all, Hades was only 6 years old when she left, and 6 years had passed in the blink of an eye. During this period, they only saw each other a few times. After all, the Rocks Pirates were very busy and took advantage of this opportunity to grow rapidly. As the number of forces under their protection increased, the overall power of the Rocks Pirates increased like a snowball. The forces under their protection moved in full force to challenge and conquer those pirates in the New World who did not surrender to the Rocks Pirates. The weak pirate group Rocks Pirates will not take action personally, but will just leave it to affiliated forces such as the Knight Pirates. As the Rocks Pirates gradually came to dominate the New World, they actively wanted to join the Rocks Pirates. From Hades, she could clearly see the shadow of Jaeger. Hades suddenly frowned, a cold light flashed in his eyes, which became extremely sharp. A sudden anger arose in his heart, and an astonishing energy burst out from his whole body. Mother, who hurt you? In Hades' memory, his mother's flawless face now had a hideous scar. Even though Nyx was wearing a veil, how could it be hidden from his eyes? It was a vice admiral named Vic. He was accidentally attacked and injured. Seeing Hades' angry posture, Nyx was very pleased, and she didn't care about the scars on her face. As a pirate, she didn't even care about her own life, so how could she care about this mere scar? She did not hide anything from Hades, because she knew that her children would avenge her for Vic. Hades muttered the name silently and kept it firmly in his mind. You have to live well. From this moment, the life countdown of the vice admiral named Vic will begin. After reminiscing for a while, Nyx left Hades behind and happily hugged Ananke beside Hades. Dear Ananke, long time no see. This was her appointed daughter-in-law. How could she not be excited to see Ananke? You're still beautiful, Sister Nyx. Anan said sweetly. She was very close to Nyx and hadn't seen him for many years. Then Nyx greeted Titan again. Little Titan, I haven't seen you grow up so big in a few years. Nyx knew Titan, who had been by Hades' side for a year when she left. Meet the princess. Titan had already finished chewing the food in his hands, not even spitting out the bones. Titan still respects Nyx.